know why? Because her dad tried to sell his shares. The problem with individual stocks is you can't sell it unless your broker can find a buyer. When word got out and the stock price started going like this, how many people do you think were willing buyers? That's why it went to zero. Nobody'd buy it. You see the problem with individual stocks? Even if you've got quite a bit of money and you invest in 10 or 20 companies, it's still very risky. And on top of that, the stockbrokers don't get paid enough commission on a $2,500 account to make it worth their time to fill out the paperwork to set up the account. So if you were a stockbroker, would you take a lot of risk for a little or no pay? See why the stockbrokers are always looking for people that got $500,000 or $1 million to invest? See, you walk in with 500 grand. You can sit down at the desk with them. They'll get you a cup of coffee, and they'll talk. And now that money can be invested in 50 or 100 or 200 different companies, can't it? So now what happens to the risk? It goes way down, doesn't it? Because see, when the next Enron or WorldCom does happen, you didn't have very much of your money in that company. So it wasn't such a killer, was it? Okay? Real estate. What kind of real estate can Jeff get involved in with $2,500 bucks? What's that? A doghouse. Down payment on a doghouse. Right? So do you see why most people you and I know, stocks and real estate really aren't a good option? Got it? But that's why, do you have a wet paper towel?
No, I can get one.
That's why in 1924, the greatest thing that was ever invented for middle-income people to invest their money in took place, and they're called mutual funds. Now everybody in here has heard of mutual funds, right? Well, I'm going to simplify it for you. Even though most people have heard of mutual funds, they don't have the first clue of how they work. Here's how simple it is. All a mutual fund is, guys, is a pot of money. And people don't realize that for as little as $50 a month, you can start putting money in those mutual funds. All the mutual fund company does is hire people called fund managers to take all the money that comes into these and invest it for all the investors. But most of those funds have millions and billions of dollars in them. So let's say the mutual fund your money is in has $100 million in it. Is that fund manager forced to invest in just a few companies if he's got $100 million to work with? Not, is he? He can invest in lots of companies. And that's why the average mutual fund invests anywhere from 50 to 250 different companies. There's literally tons of mutual funds out there, guys, that invest in 1,000 companies at one time. So now what happens to the risk? It goes way down, doesn't it? The more companies your money's invested in, or in other words, what's the word? The more diversified you are, the less risk there is. So let's go back to this whole guaranteed thing. Here's what's been happening in middle-income America for eons. The financial world has told us we need to invest our money safely, where it's guaranteed. Well, where can you go to do that? Where can you put money where so it's guaranteed not to go down? The bank. Who knows what interest rate your savings account at the bank is paying you right now? 0.1, 0.01, 0.15. Does anybody in here have a CD at the bank? Any idea what interest rate your CD is paying? 2%. How long ago did you get the CD? Okay, so you might be getting 2 yet. New CDs right now, a 5-year CD is paying about 1%. So let's use the rule of 72 on that. You put $10,000 in a CD that pays 1% interest. How long does it take the $10,000 to grow to $20,000? 72 years. But while the money's there, what's the bank doing with it? Just sitting in a coffee can back in the safe waiting for you to come back and get it? No, they're loaning it out to somebody else, charging them a lower interest rate or a higher interest rate to use your money. Higher. So let's say they're charging them 8%. They're paying you 1, charging Joe over here 8 for his car loan. It's going to take 72 years for you to double your money, but it's only going to take 9 years for them to double theirs. Good deal for who? Do you see where I'm saying anytime somebody says the word guaranteed to you? That word guaranteed means guaranteed to keep you broke and make me wealthy. That's what they're really saying. So where can you go and get the 12%? Well, mutual funds is the best place to go. Now, does that mean that that's always just straight up 12% every year? No. Who remembers what happened in the year 2008? Who knows how much the S&P 500 index or the stock market was down in the year 2008? Percent.
Oh. It was a lot.
I don't remember.
Over 40%. Okay? So let's picture this. Let's go to Jeff here. Here's 2008. He's getting really close to retirement. His account's up to 320, and the market tanks by 40%. So the end of 2008, what does he have left? If he takes it all out, he's got about 200,000 left, doesn't he? Right? Goes down, he's got 200K left. Well, let's look at this for a second. If he would have had it in the bank all them years, he'd have 10 or 40. Oh crap, he's only got 200. Is it still better than the bank? But who's telling him he should get it out of the market and give it to them? The bank. For whose benefit? You see what I'm saying? What are you going to do when you hear the word guaranteed from any financial person?
Run. Thanks for your time. See you later.
Guaranteed that you will not retire, you will be broke the rest of your life. That's the guarantee. You have to live with these ups and these downs so that you can average that. The key word is average. What do most people do when their 401k account went from 320 down to 200?
Hold it.
They listen to who?
The bank. And they pulled it all out and they should have waited because they didn't be back up.
Because it's already back. Everything we lost in 2008, we've more than gained back. And it's only 2012. Never take advice from somebody who's more broke than you. Here's why most people pulled their money out. Because their coworkers